Sunday church service in McCarthy. Counting the preacher and the song leader, 11 people in attendance. Bonnie Kenyon leads the singing.
I love this next verse. The Lord has brought.
Her husband Rick is the preacher.
The gospel of the kingdom is the good news about how to live in the kingdom of God while we're here on the earth.
Rick and Bonnie Kenyon are everything McCarthy was not during the days of the Kennicot mine. The Sin City for miners with moonshine and brothels.
We believe we came at the direct leading of the Lord to establish a work here.
Rick Kenyon's not just McCarthy's preacher, he's the grizzly slaying preacher, a title earned when folks turned to him to take care of 3 problem brown bears at one time.
It was right near the Park Service kiosk, and the Park Service people called me, said, "The rogue grizzlies are here, will you please come and take care of them?" I said, "Come on, you're the Park Service, you take care of them."
It was Rick that took care of them. Among those in the church audience, Mike Monroe. Mike lives up above the Kennicot Mill buildings.
Just a place to get away from the world, get out of, hide in the woods.
Mike Monroe is better known as Tanker Mike, and that's why. The big black abandoned fuel tank on his property. Mike wanted to build his home in the tank. That hasn't quite panned out. He settled for a small cabin instead. Mike spent a career driving trucks across the lower 48. Now, perched over the Kennicot Glacier, the crowded freeways are long gone.
As an over-the-road truck driver, everywhere you go, it's a hassle. Somebody is hassling you everywhere you go and everything you do, I guess. I was an owner-operator.
Nobody hassles Tanker Mike here. This is the view from his wall-less outhouse. His tank once stored fuel for Kennicot Mine's power plant. It's still, to this day, being used for storage.
I got a year's groceries and a cord of firewood, or couple cord maybe in there.
Tanker Mike has only been in this area full-time for a couple of years. Not quite the longevity of Jim Edwards, who lives on 80 acres where he built his own home.
The trees and the nature, they're my church, and I live in it.
Jim came to McCarthy in 1955. He bought what is now the Backpackers Hotel for $700.
And in '55, when I moved here, I became acquainted with the other 6 people that lived in the whole valley. And they said, "You paid $700 for that house? Boy, did you get taken." The going price for a house and lot here is $100.
Just about everything on Jim Edwards' property he built himself, including a couple of airplanes. He had to, couldn't afford to have others build it for him. He's had a variety of jobs, some making as little as $1,000 in a whole year. But at age 75, Jim Edwards realizes he's never felt poor in McCarthy.
I could have chosen a lifestyle, I'd wind up rich. I knew that I could do it, and I didn't want to pay the cost.
In a sense, Edwards owns it all: the mountains, glaciers, the history, and the wildlife. And he doesn't have to share it with too many others.